All right, hello. In this video, we are focusing on all regions of the hips, both mobilizing, strengthening, and releasing the hips. We are also looking at the deep inner core players of the pelvic floor, which also connect to areas within the hips. So I hope you enjoy this practice, and let's get into it. You can start in a seated position. Feel free, if sitting up nice and tall is difficult for you here, to place a pillow or a blanket underneath your sit bones. We'll start here with a little bit of breath. So finding ourselves in a comfortable seat, let's begin by tuning in to our breath. So we'll breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Once again, deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Beautiful. We'll start by bringing awareness to our pelvic floor muscles. So those muscles right at the base of the pelvic bone, where we have openings to the outside world. We'll use our breath to activate this area. So as you inhale, you can think about your organs pushing downward, relaxing in the pelvic floor as you inhale. Everything pressing down. As you exhale, we'll draw the pelvic floor up like you're sucking up a blueberry, pulling everything up and in. And again, as you inhale, we'll relax everything down. Exhaling, drawing everything up. Feel free to make a shh sound on that exhale. We'll do 4 more like this. Inhaling as you relax. Exhaling as you draw everything up, engaging the pelvic floor, drawing up and in. If this is hard for you to fully feel, no worries. Even just starting to create that mind-muscle connection will start to help us connect to the pelvic floor and strengthen that area. Helping us with incontinence if we struggle with that at all. Beautiful. Alrighty. From here, we can open the eyes. Let's open up our legs. We'll start nice and gentle, taking a hold of one knee and one foot. From here, we're just exploring the hip joint and its range this morning. Every day is different. So we'll push that leg forward and back like you're rocking a baby. And then we'll start to find some circles. So we'll gently stir the pot with our shin bone. Just trying to mix up that that fluid inside of the hip joint. Synovial fluid is what I meant. We'll switch direction. Great. And then straightening out that leg, let's switch sides. Bending in the knee, grabbing a hold of the knee and the foot, and we'll rock left and right. And then we'll start with some circles. So we're starting slow by easing into our joints, and then we'll add a little more static held postures. Spiraling in the other direction. Great. All right, from here, let's widen our legs. And again, if this is difficult, if you're sitting a little more like this, I recommend placing yourself on top of a blanket or a pillow. We'll grab a hold of an invisible spoon. Let's reach towards one toe, leaning forward. We'll reach towards the front, towards the other toe, and then leaning on back. Core is engaged, and repeat. Big circles. We'll do 3 more in this direction. Lengthening your breath. And then switching direction. Let's reach towards the other toe. Strong breaths. Great. All right, from here, let's straighten the legs in front of us. And we'll be working into the hamstrings just a little bit so we can open up access to the hips as well. Legs are straight. We're reaching towards the opposite corner of our mat or our foot, and then switching directions. You can start to pair this with your breath. Switching sides every time. Nice, last side. Beautiful. All right, let's bend our knees here. You can take your hands behind you. Let's lift in our chest, screwing our hands into the floor. From here, we'll let the knees fall to one side as far as they can, and switching directions. Let's just rock these knees left and right a few times. You can even take your knee and slide that knee down your shin bone all the way to your heel, and then repeat back on up to the other side. Finding that tactile feedback. Great. From here, let's let the knees fall all the way over, and then we'll sit on up onto our hip bones. It's okay if one knee is slightly lifted or the hip is off the ground. We'll reach towards the sky, and then let's fall forward over that front shin. We'll breathe in as we lift on up, bringing our one hand back behind us. We'll lift the hips towards the sky, reaching up and over, and then we'll set those hips on down. Once again, let's repeat 3 more times. We'll lift towards the sky, folding over that front shin, reaching our chest on up, lifting tall, inhale. Setting back hand down, we'll lift the hips, pushing the hips forward and up, reaching up and overhead. Setting the hips down, repeating 2 more times. Finding your own way of flowing through this. You can make it graceful or just very mechanical. Last one, we'll lift up nice and tall, folding forward, reaching tall. Back behind, lift those hips, reaching up and over. And setting it down. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. Same thing on this side. So we're spinning over into this shin box position. Our shins are making half of a box. Reaching up, folding over. Lifting tall. Back arm lifts up and overhead, setting it behind your back hip bone, lifting the hips, reaching over, and setting it down. 3 more times. Finding your breath. Tuning into the inner sensations that you're feeling with this movement pattern. Use your breath to lengthen the movement. And setting it down. Beautiful work. From here, let's make our way onto hands and knees. Coming back into our pelvic floor activation, we'll do this with our cat-cows. So ensuring your wrists are over your shoulders, let's spread our fingers wide and screw those hands into the floor. From here, let's inhale as we lift head and tail. We'll exhale as we round, pushing into the floor. Again, we'll inhale. As we inhale, relaxing the pelvic floor. As you exhale, engage the pelvic floor, drawing everything up and in as you push into the ground. We'll go back and forth. One more here. Beautiful work. Let's come back to a neutral spine, reaching out through the top of the head, the back of the tail. We'll straighten the right foot behind us and then lifting those toes up off the floor. Really reach out through the heel, like you're stepping on the wall behind you. From here, let's point the toes, drawing the knee towards the floor, bringing the knee out to the right, And then straighten that leg as the toes are still reaching out to the right. Then turning the toes towards the floor and repeat. So we're drawing big circles with this hip. Keep screwing those hands into the floor, maintaining strength in your upper body. Trying to resist the urge to let the hips shift side to side. Finding strength in rotation. Good, and then we'll switch directions, reaching out long. Toes come out to the right, knee comes out to the right. Knee comes towards the floor and then pushing back behind you. Let's do 4 more on this side. Maintaining control, screwing those hands into the floor so that the elbows are facing forward. The inside of the elbows are facing forward. Beautiful. Setting that knee down. We'll tuck the toes under, and then let's walk ourselves on back. We can sit onto the backs of the heels, taking a pause here. Breath in and out. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. So reaching on forward. We'll stretch that left leg on back. Beautiful. Lifting the heel up off the floor, really pushing out through the heel. From here, pointing the toes, reaching it down towards the floor. Knee comes out to the left, straightening in the leg. The toes are still facing out to the left. We'll spiral the toes towards the floor and repeat. Trying to remain locked in with those arms. Upper body is engaged, core is engaged. Just working on mobilizing the hip joint. Beautiful. Let's switch directions, straightening that leg back behind. Toes come out to the left, knee comes out to the left. Knee reaches towards the floor, straightening back out behind you. Repeating here. Placing all your awareness into the movement of that leg. Last one here. Beautiful. Okay, from here, let's take our right foot out behind us. We'll reach it all the way out to the right so the toes are in line with the knee. From here, let's rise on up to one knee, one foot. From here, we'll take a breath in, reaching tall, long spine. As we exhale, we'll reach towards that straight leg, reaching up and over and back to center. We'll do that 3 more times. Lengthening that side of the hip on that left side. Last one. Beautiful. All right, keeping our foot here, this time turning the knee away from us, toes facing over to the right. Reaching the arms out to the sides. This is a modified warrior 2 position. From here, let's take the arms out and up. As you exhale, we'll lean into that front hip and then drawing it back on up. Let's do 3 more. Keeping that knee pushing on out towards the outside, not letting the knee fall inward. Beautiful work. From here, let's reach on down to the floor, straightening that leg out to the side, and then we'll just rock forward and back a few times, easing into the inside of that right foot. Let's stretch it back behind us and switching sides. Left leg reaches long, sliding it out to the left, toe in line with knee, rising on up to one knee. We'll straighten in the leg. Let's lift, reaching up and over. And coming back to center. 3 more. Nice and slow. Lengthen the side ribs and the side of the hip. 2 more. Really reaching long. Always feel free to adapt these movements. If these don't feel right for you in any way, you can always come down or shorten the movement. All right, from here, let's take our knee out to the left. We're really pushing the knee out to the left. Notice, is it caving in? Keep pushing it out. We'll reach those arms out to the side. Let's breathe in as we reach on up, long spine. Exhaling, leaning in towards that front foot. Back and forth. One more here. Reaching long. Let's reach forward, straightening in that side leg, and then shifting forward and back. Long breath. Always feel free to add padding underneath your knees if they're sensitive here. Beautiful work. Let's come back onto hands and knees. From here, we'll reach on back with the right foot. Breath in and out. And then we'll step forward, coming onto one knee, so kneeling lunge. Excellent work. Let's take our hands in at center, and we'll find a cat-cow spine here in our kneeling lunge. So as you inhale, we'll open the tailbone and the head back behind us, opening up the chest. As we exhale, we'll round the tailbone, round the chin, pointing forward with your hands. Again, we'll inhale, open up the front body, tailbone and head reaching back. Exhaling as we round. 2 more. Last one. From here, let's reach on up towards the sky. And then we're hanging on to opposite elbows. Reach, reach tall. Shifting the hips forward just slightly. And then we'll reach lateral bend towards the right. Rising it back to center. Couple more. Beautiful. Let's reach long, making sure our hips are shifted forward as much as feels okay. We'll reach to the sky and then reaching forward down towards the floor. You can walk the right foot out to the right. And now we're on either our fingertips. If this is still difficult, you can get some blocks underneath your hands. Our foot is on the outside of our hand. Some people, you might come down to your hands or even your forearms for some. And we're finding our breath. Lengthen out through the top of the head. Deep breath in and out. Beautiful. And then nice and slow, we'll start to lift those hips on up, sliding the right foot back. You can press back to a child's pose. And from here, let's pull ourselves forward, stepping forward with the left leg. We'll rise all the way up, kneeling lunge. All right, let's draw those hands to center. Same thing, cat-cow spine. Opening up the chest, peel open the chest, tailbone reaches back behind you, head lifts. As we exhale, round just the tailbone and the chin as you point and reach those arms forward. We'll go back and forth. Easing into those hip flexors. You can gently push the floor forward with your front leg to find stability here. One more. Beautiful. Let's reach towards the sky. We'll grab a hold of opposite elbows, really reaching long with those elbows. You can shift the hips forward just slightly, and then we'll reach over to the left, rising back on tall. Couple more. Beautiful. Let's reach long, coming into that low lizard lunge. We'll reach forward. Back knee slides on back so that the hips are really down here. We're trying to avoid coming here. So I have this deep bend. I'm leaning forward or sliding my back foot back so that hip flexor can open long on that right side. We're taking our hands on the inside of our left leg. Knee is in at the arm bone. We're reaching out through the top of the head, trying to avoid letting our head hang down towards the floor, and finding our breath on this side. Big breaths in and out. Beautiful. All right, from here, let's slide that left foot back. We'll push on back to our child's pose. Deep breaths in and out here. Let's rise on up. We'll tuck our toes under, reaching our hips on back, pushing the floor away, finding your downward facing dog. From here, let's inhale, lift those heels high, and then we'll exhale, dropping the heels towards the floor. Once again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one here. Beautiful. Starting nice and slow, we'll walk ourselves forward to the front of our mat or the front of towards our hands. We'll inhale as you lift the spine, head lifts forward. Exhaling, we'll forward fold. Inhaling, let's reach all the way tall towards the sky. You can look towards those hands. Exhaling, we'll draw the hands in towards center. Working through a few warrior standing postures. We'll start with our warrior one. With warrior one, let's slide our left leg back behind us, finding a small balance on that front right foot. Taking that back foot, we're spiraling in at a slight angle. So the foot is all the way on the ground. Hips are facing forward. We'll bend in that front knee. Trying to line your hips up. You can kind of play with shifting your hips left and right and find that center point. From here, we'll reach tall with those arms. Reaching, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. From here, let's take a breath in. We'll exhale as we lean forward, reach backwards with those fingertips. As you inhale, scooping those hands forward and up. We'll find one more circle here. Reaching forward and up. Let's grab a hold of opposite elbows. And then we'll lean over towards the right and back to center. Over towards the right, back to center. Beautiful. Reaching long. And with your breath, we'll step forward to the front. Let's slide the right foot back behind us. Same thing. Plant those toes first, then spiral that back heel down. So you have that 45-degree angle with the back foot, trying to press weight into the outer edge. We'll rise tall. You can play with those hips again, trying to find that center point. Good. And then we'll find our circles, reaching forward, equal weight in front and back foot. Inhaling as we reach forward and up. Big breath. Allow your breath to guide the movement and the speed at which you move. Grabbing hold of opposite elbows, reaching long. And then we'll lean over to the left and back to center. Over to the left and back to center. Beautiful. From here, let's draw those hands back to the heart. Deep breath. Stepping forward. Beautiful work. All right, from here, let's slide our left leg back behind us. And this time we'll spiral that back heel all the way down. So our heels are about lined up to one another. That back foot can be at a slight angle in. Our front knee, let's take our front fist, placing it on the outside of that right knee. Press that knee into your fist. So nice, strong external rotation with that front knee. Adjusting your rib cage. Notice if you're kind of tilting over. Bring yourself towards center. Engage in that back leg glute. From here, we'll find our warrior two. Looking towards those fingertips. Relax in your shoulders. Everything is engaged, nice and strong in the legs. From here, let's inhale as we straighten the front leg. Lifting tall with the arms. As we exhale, we'll bend in that front knee. One more time, let's inhale, lift. Exhaling, lower. Beautiful. From here, let's straighten in our front leg. You may want to step forward just a slight bit with that back foot. Keeping the front leg straight. We'll reach long, lengthening in these bottom side ribs. Then we'll place our hand either on our legs, some might touch the floor, and we're spiraling our ribs towards the front of the room. Let's reach long with that top arm, maybe looking towards the sky, maybe forward, maybe towards the floor. Making sure we're not collapsing in the bottom side ribs. Find your breath. Pulling up on your front kneecap by engaging your quad. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Beautiful. Let's bend in our front knee and rising all the way up to warrior 2. Beautiful. Let's take our hands on our hips, straightening both legs and switching sides. We'll turn the other toes on out. Do your little external knee check. We'll take our fist, push that knee into the fist. Drawing the head up towards the sky. We'll reach on out through those fingertips. Breath in and out. And then let's lift as we inhale. Exhaling as we lower. One more, nice and slow. Find that engagement in those legs, warrior legs. Beautiful. From here, let's straighten in our front leg, maybe slightly stepping forward an inch or so with the back foot. We'll reach long, reaching long. Bottom side ribs long, placing the hand down. Top hand lifts towards the sky. Find 4 long breaths here. Beautiful. Let's bend in our front knee. We'll rise on up, taking our hands onto our hips. All right. Taking our toes out to the side again, warrior 2 facing this direction. From here, we'll slowly begin to spiral back heel towards the sky. And then reaching towards the floor, you can place both hands on the inside of that front leg. From here, we're spiraling the back heel down as we walk ourselves towards the front of our mat. Our hips can stay high. Perhaps our toes with the front foot reach forward. Some might sit those hips all the way down, finding Skandasana. Others might stay high. Finding our breath. Beautiful. Then we'll keep turning towards the back of the mat, spiraling the back toes down. Now we're in that lizard pose on this side. Finding your breath. Same thing on this side. We'll spiral the back heel down, walking ourselves towards the side of our mat. Toes lift towards the sky. Maybe we pause here. Maybe we sit those hips down, gently pressing into that knee. Deep breath in and out. This is a very deep posture, so if this does not feel right for your body, always come on out. Beautiful. We'll rise, we'll walk all the way to the front. From here, let's step on back with that front foot, dropping the knees. We'll come nice and slow down to our child's pose, resting the forehead either on the floor or on stacked fists. We'll find our breath in and out. Beautiful work. From here, let's rise on up to hands and knees. We're taking our left leg and bringing our knee forward, stacking our knees in front of one another. From here, you'll take your feet, spreading them away from one another. This can be a fairly awkward position. We're beginning to lower our hips down, maybe onto a big block or a blanket underneath us. If this does not feel okay on your knees, staying here in this position, just crossing and gently pushing your hips back, this is perfect as well. Okay, so we're pausing here, finding a breath in and out. One more breath here. Beautiful. Let's shift ourselves forward, planting in those hands, unwinding the legs, and then we'll switch sides. Right foot will come forward, feet come away from one another. Now, first variation is we're just staying here on our knees as we push our hips on back. There's still lots of opening in the hips. Or we're walking the hips all the way down to the floor or to a block or a blanket underneath us, trying to eventually stack those knees. It doesn't matter if they're not properly stacked. Just a general shape, finding our breath here. Deep breaths in and out. Last breath here. Beautiful. All right, let's come on out of that shape. We'll slowly wind our legs to now find this wide-legged position. Again, if this seat is hard for you to sit in without curving of the spine, prop your hips up onto a blanket. That will kind of help tilt your pelvis forward. Keeping the knees facing up as much as we can. This might be perfect for some. Others, we might walk ourselves forward, trying to keep the knees and the toes facing towards the sky. We'll find a breath in and out here. Some might lower even lower onto the forearms, some maybe even the belly. This is just anatomy based. No exact place for you to be. Just wherever feels right for your body. Finding a breath in and out here. Beautiful. Then we'll walk ourselves back on up. Let's draw our legs forward. We'll slowly make our way onto our backs. Beautiful work. From here, let's take those feet towards the sky, and we're just going to gently shake out the legs. Let the ankles be loose, the calves be loose, the quads be loose. You can shake them side to side or up and down. Deep breaths in and out. Beautiful work. All right, let's set our feet towards the floor. And nice and gently, we'll take our knees to the left and to the right. The head can begin to move in the opposite direction of the knees. Slowing down your breath, finding length from one side to the next. Nice. We'll end with a figure 4 position. So let's stack our right ankle on top our left knee and then gently pressing the knee out to the right. You can stay here, or you can lift your left foot up off the floor, pulling the ankle towards the chest, finding our breath. Some people might reach through that little triangle, grabbing a hold of their thigh. This is just options. nice and slow, we'll lower that down. And switching feet, stacking the left ankle on top of the right knee, gently pressing the knee out to the side. You can stay here. You can lift that right foot up off the floor. Or you can reach through that triangle, grabbing underneath the right thigh. It's up to you, finding breath. Deep breath in and out. Great. Nice and slow, we'll lower that foot towards the ground. You can take your feet wide, knees can knock together. We'll find a few breaths here. Hands can come either on the belly or down by your sides. It's beginning to add softness into the belly, into the hips. And then we'll slowly begin to straighten one leg and then the other. Reaching first, reaching out through those heels and toes, long legs, and then relaxing the legs. You can let the toes fall apart. Becoming heavy in the feet, becoming heavy in the hips, and the arms can come out to your sides. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel free to add in a sigh, allowing yourself to integrate here. And I'll leave you here in your resting form for as long as you wish. Enjoy.